Bro, oh my god. Yo, I am so tired, son. I'm exhausted right now, bro. Shout out to Gaming Bolt. They're gonna be talking about the ins and outs of The Last of Us 2 graphics. So let's go ahead and get straight into the video, bro. We don't even gotta talk too much about it. We already know The Last of Us 2 graphics is A1. Let's get into it. Dun, dun, dun.
We're closing in on the end of a console generation here, and
Facts.
in a year's time, the PS5 and the next Xbox will almost certainly be on the market. With the massive increase to both graphics and processing capability, gaming is set to evolve in new directions.
PS5 graphics
This
is
is
gonna be
always one of
crazy.
the most interesting times in an existing console's lifecycle, because by the end of the generation, developers, especially at first-party studios, have a very clear understanding of the hardware that they're working with. They can use their accumulated experience to make games truly sing and deliver outstanding visuals. We saw this back in 2013 with The Last of Us, Naughty Dog's swan song for the PS3. Now, 6 years later, it's the PS4's time to be put out to pasture. During all the time that they've spent on Sony's 8th gen hardware, Naughty Dog have learned a lot. The Last of Us 2, in its latest trailer, looks absolutely stunning. It's a step up from Uncharted 4, both in terms of scale and detail. And it's
Detail
a
is
remarkable
everything,
feat
y'all.
for what's essentially a PC cobbled together from a mid-range 2012 GPU and a tablet or netbook reject processor. Today, we're going to take a look at the latest Last of Us trailer and evaluate the graphics features the game brings to the table in depth.
We probably missed a lot,
Right
too,
here,
you know what
we
I'm
get
saying?
a close-up shot of Ellie. Two things are evident here. Poly counts are very high, and Naughty Dog has
Look at
done
the
an
stream.
excellent job with material rendering.
Hoodie.
Ellie being the main character, it's expected that she'd have a large polygon budget.
Absolutely.
Nevertheless, we were pleasantly surprised. The curves of Ellie's face are organic, and there's ample geometric detail on her clothing as well.
Bro,
Naughty
look at
Dog's
the
skin
hoodie.
and eye shaders receive special praise. They're a step up from the great work in Uncharted 4. As Mass Effect Andromeda demonstrated, it's tough to implement a great eye shader, and small aberrations in the reflective properties of in-game eyes can seriously break immersion.
Right.
Skin's done well too. Subsurface scattering has become a standard feature of late. This, combined with the high-quality texture work and
I can't get over
high-quality
the
models, leads to excellent results
texture.
in up-close character shots. Here, the camera pulls out for a wide shot of the town of Jackson, where Ellie's been living the past 4 years. We see some interesting things right here. For starters, LOD scaling is generous. Visual elements like dynamic shadow remain in play even at long distances. If you observe the man carrying a crate in the background, you'll see that his feet still cast shade. The two watchtowers are also interesting here. Both have a light source hanging from the roof.
I never
The
noticed
nearer
that.
one to the right side exhibits light bloom, while the farther one doesn't. So you have a good 50 plus meters at which dynamic effects kick in, and that's not bad at all. The trees in the extreme background are sprite billboards. However, a subtle depth of field effect can help mask any ugliness arising from this.
Right.
Here, the camera cuts to Dina and Ellie on the street. Here, one of Naughty Dog's compromises is almost immediately evident: the low level of anisotropic filtering. Naughty Dog appears to have used ×4 anisotropic filtering or thereabouts. Nearby ground textures are clear enough, but they smudge significantly the further you look. Poor anisotropic filtering quality has been a perennial issue with console games. It's a curious situation since forcing 16 times AF on PCs incur almost no performance penalty at all, even on hardware that's weaker than the consoles. Nevertheless, poor filtering is here and we have to deal with it.
Hey, I'm just listening.
The
This
ground's
shit
not
is
a blurry
interesting.
mess up close though. We see parallax occlusion mapping in effect here. It convincingly portrays the churned mud and slush on the road, making it appear as if the surface has real depth. Here we get a good glimpse of both the depth of field and motion blur implementation. As we mentioned earlier, there's a subtle static depth of field effect that's employed at range, but close-up scenes also benefit. It isn't the most refined depth of field we've seen, and there's more than a bit of smudging, as
This
you can
shit
see on the
got-
right or to the left. Motion
My
blur looks
brain
great
is
though.
throbbing. This is
It's a
amazing.
high-quality per-object implementation, and it pairs excellently with the game's bespoke animation system. When they revealed The Last of Us 2 last year, Naughty Dog made a lot about the new animation system, termed motion matching.
Right.
Essentially, the game takes a large bucket of motion capture information and then dynamically generates on-screen animations based on the path the character is taking. This mixing and matching means that no two animations end up looking the same. Moreover, the system allows for a greater sense of groundedness, especially when combined with physics interactions. This is evident a bit later in the trailer when an enemy bursts out from behind a wall.
Right.
The animation really connects with the physics interaction, instead of seeming incidental to it. Over here, we see excellent use of GPU-accelerated particles. The high particle density and the use of volumetrics over here makes for a very atmospheric addition to the game.
That shit look crazy. You can see the shadow in the
also
back.
allows for some stunning crepuscular rays as seen here. The first part of the game, much like Gears 5, appears to be set in winter.
Looks like Red
There
Dead.
are some obvious technical considerations this calls for.
Redemption
Most
2.
prominent is this: how does the game handle snow?
Right.
Snow accumulation and deformation were a bit too much for 7th gen consoles to handle.
Right.
The earliest we see this mainstream is in the PC version of Assassin's Creed 3. Even in the 8th gen, not all games handle snow well. Fortunately,
That
Naughty
is
Dog
true.
appears to have been conscious of their setting and made snow rendering a priority.
Red Dead
Over here, we
mastered
see volumetric particles representing snow billowing in the air. More interestingly is how a bit earlier, over here, the game handles snow deformation.
Right.
We're looking at a simple but effective parallax occlusion implementation here. This is an extension of the static effect seen on the ground. It's nothing as fancy as what Gears 5 does. Moreover, the
Gears
fact
5,
that
I
it's
don't
not
care about no
mesh-based
Gears.
can be seen in oblique shots. However, this is one of those cases where a judicious cutback in one area pays off in attention to detail seen elsewhere. Snow accumulation is something that Naughty Dog spoke about in a recently released technical overview of the demo. From what we see, accumulation on objects is also shader-based. Snow falls on your horse, but it shows up as a flat texture. In a game with strong horror vibes, lighting
That makes
is
sense.
a very important element, and
That's
The Last of Us
crazy.
2 does not disappoint.
I don't like
the
that.
use of global illumination is evident
Flat
in
texture.
outdoor shots, such as over here. Indirect lighting is in place thanks to ambient occlusion. This is most evident here, a shot where there's a single bright light source in the background. As to texture quality, it goes without saying that the game has some great texture work.
Yes.
With the 4K-oriented PS4 Pro as the platform of choice, high-resolution textures are a necessity. All in all, The Last of Us 2 is a great demonstration of what's possible from the late-cycle PS4. Naughty Dog has consistently pushed the limit in terms of what's possible on console hardware, and as we go into the 9th gen, this will be the standard to beat for the new consoles.
Hell yeah!
And that about does it for this video. If you
Know what I'm
enjoyed what
saying?
you watched and want to see more from Gaming Bolt, you can always hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon next to it. That way you will never miss any of our videos.
Hey, great video, you know what I'm saying? This is what I think. I honestly think this is gonna be easily top 5 greatest game, greatest graphics on PS4, you know what I'm saying? All I know is, man, these graphics for The Last of Us 2 are gonna be insane. Bro, imagine how this junk would look on PS5. Oh my god. It looks crazy on PS4 already. So imagine how the PS5 is gonna look with these new games that come. I honestly don't see how it can get realer than PS4. Like, it's crazy, bro. But hey, if you enjoyed this video, definitely leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Please turn on notifications to get notified when I upload and stream, bro. I will be dropping more bangers, so stay tuned for that, man. It's your boy JosephWitty. I'm out of here. EDPR doing different things, bro. You know what I'm saying? Plus, we already in that like cyberpunk type of feel. Like, you know, the cyberpunk feel is a nostalgia feel. It's very nostalgic. You know what I'm saying? Like the 80s was very cyberpunkish without the technology, you know? And now we in that technology field, so it's just the 80s and the technology and all that shit now. It's basically